Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a filing from Philip Morris International, and unlike their smoke-free products, we're hoping this report doesn't leave us coughing from confusion. We are diving into their proxy statement, which means we're getting a peek at who's running the show, how much they're getting paid, and what big decisions are coming up. Let's get started. First off, this is a definitive proxy statement, meaning all the details are final. This document invites you to the 2025 annual meeting of shareholders scheduled for May, where some important decisions will be made. The proxy statement is here to provide voters with the information to vote with confidence. The letter highlights 2024 as a year of best-in-class growth, powered by brands like iQOS and Zenzian, despite a challenging global economy. It also outlines the company's commitment to a smoke-free future, while also reassuring their shareholders that all is well with the earnings and dividend growth. Here's what's on the agenda for the meeting. Shareholders will vote on electing 11 directors, giving an advisory approval on executive pay, and ratifying the selection of PricewaterhouseCoopers SAE as the company's auditor. You can find the company's proxy statement and annual report online. Keep in mind though that information on those external websites isn't officially part of this proxy statement. Here is a quick look at the table of contents to give you a feel of what's to come. We are going to be focusing on the board and executives, what they are and how they get paid. Let's zoom in on PMI. One of the world's leading international tobacco companies, is on a mission to deliver a smoke-free future and even dabble in products outside of tobacco and nicotine. Impressively, their smoke-free products accounted for 39% of their total net revenues. PMI met or exceeded all of its 2024 annual performance targets set by the Compensation Committee. The company's success was measured using such metrics as market share in top markets, shipment volume of smoke-free products, adjusted net revenues, adjusted operating income and operating cash flow. It achieved 130 performance rating against a target of 100, meaning they greatly exceeded those goals. Odd adjusted net revenues saw a whopping 9.8% increase, crushing their target of 7.5% to 8.5% to 8.5% and operating cash flow. It achieved a 130 performance rating against a target of 100, meaning they greatly exceeded those goals. Odd adjusted net revenues saw a whopping 9.8% increase, crushing their target of 105% to 8.5%, and operating cash flow, it achieved a 130% increase, crushing their target of 7.5% to 8.5% to 8.5%, and operating cash flow landed. The company actively engaged with shareholders, meeting with over half of their top 100 investors, representing about 70% of their global shareholder base. Through these engagements, they gained insight into shareholder priorities, perspectives, and positions, and reported all of it to the relevant committees. Let's move on to the board. The board is responsible for the long-term success of the company. They establish corporate policies, setting the strategic direction, and overseeing management. The board held 6 regular meetings in 2024. PMI takes ethics seriously. The company's code of conduct applies to everyone, from the board members to the newest hires. It's all about guiding everyone to meet their commitments with integrity. Looking at company leadership, Andrei Kalantzopoulos continues to serve as chairman, facilitating communication between the board and management and assisting the CEO with long-term strategy. The lead independent director, Lisa Hawke, provides a balance, presiding over executive sessions of the non-management directors and serving as a liaison between the CEO and the board. The Audit and Risk Committee is a vital group. This committee oversees the integrity of the company's financial statements, the company's risk management program, the qualifications and performance of the independent auditors, and the company's compliance with legal and regulatory requirements. The Science and Technology Committee oversees the research and development of new products and services, particularly in smoke-free products and the wellness and healthcare business, while monitoring legislative and public policy issues. The board takes risk management seriously, overseeing the company's enterprise risk management program. This includes identifying and prioritizing risks based on their likelihood, impact, velocity, and interconnectedness. Now, let's talk about the folks we are electing. The board recommends electing 11 directors to hold office until the next annual meeting. Notably, Juan Jose de Bo will not be standing for re-election. The board has determined that all director nominees other than the chairman and CEO are independent, meaning they have no conflicts of interest in acting as stewards of the company. Let's look at some of the nominees. Robert Paulette brings his experience at Gucci Group and Unilever. He has a keen understanding of the global consumer products business, along with knowledge of global markets. The company's compensation philosophy is to provide competitive pay packages to attract and retain high-quality directors. The board believes that a substantial portion of compensation should be equity-based, aligning the directors' interests with those of shareholders. The annual cash retainer is $12,500, while the annual equity award is $175,000. Those in leadership get more. Time for executive compensation. The company's program aims to attract, develop, and retain world-class leaders while aligning their interests with those of shareholders. Their pay is tied to pre-established objectives and supports long-term business growth and sustainability efforts. At the top, CEO Jacek Olczak had a 2024 base salary of $1,718,718, while CFO Emmanuel Bayboes was $1,443,726. In terms of potential payout from annual incentives, Jacek Olczak had a target of 200% of his base salary, while the other NEOs are between 100%, 100%, 100%, 105%. The committee also looks at potential downsides of their compensation design. However, they are confident that current checks and balances ensures the executives will not make unreasonable decisions. These checks include maximum limits on incentives and an emphasis on long-term rather than short-term value, as well as the fact that NEOs need to keep a significant amount of shares and cannot engage in hedging or other speculative transactions. The committee has been consulting with Frederick W. Cook, independent executive compensation consultant, regarding CEO and other executives' compensation. Let's zoom in on the financial details. The largest shareholders are institutional investors like the Vanguard Group and BlackRock, who each hold a significant percentage of the company's stock. The board has a policy on related person transactions to review certain transactions where a director or officer has a material interest. Christina Oka-Dobrowolski, the wife of PMI's vice president and controller, earned approximately $700,000 in 2024. This transaction was reviewed and ratified in 2024. This transaction was reviewed and ratified. The Audit and Risk Committee oversaw the integrity of the financial statements and the performance of both the independent and internal auditors. For 2024, the audit fees totaled $24 million on audit editor tax and other fees. The Audit and Risk Committee has selected PricewaterhouseCoopers SA as the company's independent auditors for the fiscal year ending December 31, 2025, and is seeking shareholder ratification of this selection. Finally, there is an exhibit with questions and answers about the proxy and annual meeting, voting, and other items. I encourage everyone to read that as well. One final bit that you might find helpful is Exhibit B, which includes a ton of additional reconciliations that help clarify some of the non-GAAP accounting figures. Here are the numbers for total shipment volume 2024. 684.8 billion units, ATAAASUA 2023, 666.7 billion units. Force 2023, 661 units, also. What do we make of all of this? PMI is facing a pivotal moment. The company has managed to succeed by selling less smoking products and more less harmful alternatives. But there is only so far you can go with the marketing pitch, and it would be naive to assume that the population is not becoming more health conscious every year. It is possible that some regulations can drastically hurt the business. The company has managed the transition well, but has to continue to find innovative ways to keep up. Thanks for watching. If you like this in-depth analysis, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the corporate world. Also, let me know in the comments what company you'd like us to decode next.